Anyway, speaking of good talents that shouldn't go any farther, I'm not leaving Louisville, Kentucky, Brian, but it appears that there's rumors that I am. Did you hear about this?
I did hear about this. I spoke with Stephen P. New about this, actually. This popped up, and it appears that, and no surprise, because the big stars are doing it, why not the nobodies? Someone's trying to use the name of Jim Cornette to get some attention.
Well, and I appreciate the little fellas thinking of me. I really do. But apparently, and this is funny, and I'm not going to cuss anybody because it's ridiculous. But it just goes to show you that, my God, these are people that are actually running shows that are advertised and purported to be professional wrestling these days. So I get up, 2 days ago and turn on the Twitter machine. And there, people have tweeted me, look at this. My fans, folks who listen to the program or who follow me on Twitter or whatever, wouldn't be fooled by this because they know what the scoop is. But there is a serious repercussion of some of this is that, if just average John and his little son Johnny and his little wife Emily want to go see a fucking wrestling match and they see names of stars bandied about on local advertising, they might be fooled. For those people, this is serious, but for anybody who knows better, this was fucking funny as hell. Some outlaw mud show promoter, allegedly, in Florida man, puts out on Facebook or wherever they do their advertising these days for these things, the cockfights, the dog fights, the bestiality porn video sales, and the outlaw mud show wrestling matches. There's a strong rumor that Jim Cornette may show up at such and such wrestling show in a fucking room at a hotel somewhere or something to confront such and such mud show wrestling's so-and-so, who coincidentally is, I think, the guy writing the rumor on Facebook. And what in the world is going to be said and done if he does show up? And of course, it's me. There's a rumor Jim Cornette's going to show up and blah, 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 blah. And it ain't me, because everybody knows I ain't going to Florida. And if I was going to Florida, I would be charging somebody else a lot more money than this guy. But Brian, it's ridiculous. Talk about a bait and switch. Now, here's the thing. As soon as I get up, and by the yard mowers are here also. I think they left your house and went to my place. As soon as I see this, I send a tweet saying there's a strong rumor that this guy has no money and is trying to swindle people into buying a ticket. What I didn't know was that our attorney, yours and mine, our attorney, the cult of Cornette's attorney, the consigliere Stephen P. New, who apparently never sleeps, had already seen that slanderous false advertising. And overnight, while I was blissfully asleep, unaware that my name was being bandied about by some cretinous, underhanded humanoid trying to profit off false information, he'd already sent the cease and desist letter. And the guy has already started going humming, and it took all that down. And then Stephen, of course, because they were going to try to put this big event on pay-per-view. I swear to God.
Well, I don't think it was real pay-per-view. I think it was fight. It was the fight.
That's what I'm
app.
saying.
Yeah.
But they're calling it a pay-per-view, but it wasn't on pay-per-view television. It was on pay-per-view internet, which apparently you can do that now from the comfort of your own home also. And so Stephen had to let the pay-per-view company know that they were false advertising my trademarked and copyrighted name and etc. But then, guess what happened? They said that first rumor had proven to be not true, but now the new rumor is that old shit state himself, Vince Russo, is going to be the one to show up.
Come on.
And now here's the thing. Obviously, you would think that that's a load of shit. Except Russo, from what the people sent me a screenshot, Russo followed the guy on fucking Twitter after. He's like, oh, a job. Somebody wants me.
Ridiculous.
It's so, God damn it. You can't make that. But anyway, so, Brian, I hate this slow and miserable descent into irrelevance that I've started here in the twilight of my career as I've tried to slow things down and wind things up. I'm so irrelevant that now these promoters, they just try to tease me. Maybe he'll show up and cuss us as a way to sell tickets. Maybe, maybe Cornette will show up and cuss us and we get to cuss at him. Also, there'll be wrestling matches. That's how they're selling these shows now. They name their events Outlaw Mud Show because they think, okay, we're going to advertise this fucking thing, and not a single solitary son of a bitch out there knows who the fuck any of the wrestlers that we're advertising on this show is. But they listen to Cornette. So if we just call it an Outlaw Mud Show, maybe they'll come and give us their $10. Or they say, well, we could advertise these wrestling matches, but let's face it. Again, everybody on the card that we've got, because we have no money and we can't afford to pay them, either that or they're just desperate for work. They're all candidates for the Federal Witness Protection Program. These people, nobody knows who they are. So we can sell more tickets to our show if we just advertise, hey, all you sad sacks of shit that can't stand Jim Cornette, come pay me $10 and we can all sit around and bitch about him together. And that way they don't even have to set up a ring, Brian. It's a lot more cost effective that way. So I'm glad to know that I'm still keeping the wrestling business properly afloat and in business just on the strength of the threat of my name alone. He might show up, gets people to come in droves or come in their pants, one or the other. It's amazing.
Just keeps happening over and over. Mr. Irrelevant. Can't stay out of everyone's mouth.
Can't stay out. I can't stay out of any of these people's mouths, Brian. They're all wanting me to come back and get in their mouth again.
Hey, I don't know if this is going to come up later in the review, so I'll ask it now just in case. During the Young Bucks match, did you hear what Excalibur called them at one point? A nickname he used?
Well, I will explain more in the review.
Okay.
But I will say I will. We don't have to blow off your question now. I was hipped to it on Twitter, as the young folks say, when somebody mentioned it. So that's how I knew that it happened. Old excrement called Pie Face. Do you was it a slip, or do you think he did it on purpose? You think there's heat there? What's going on?
Well, I just love that, again, you're Mr. Irrelevant. I have heard on AEW TV from their own commentators, I've heard Pie Face. I believe I've heard Kenny Olivier a few times.
So one of the fans definitely screamed it during his big championship match.
I'm pretty sure Jim Ross has said it in the past.
I think he went into it and kind of trailed off the A. And there was, of course, the Outlaw Mud Show placards in the street fight.
That's right. That's right. A tribute to you.
Yes. And all the things that we mention every week that they adjust on their programming after we mention it or mock it, as the case may be. But anyway, I am going to talk to Steven, though, because even though Jim Cornette is trademarked, the Cornette face is trademarked now, and Thank You, Fuck You, Bye is trademarked, Midnight Express is trademarked, all this stuff, I'm thinking about leasing these out because I'm thinking it would save these outlaw promoters a lot of money if instead of putting together these cards of 10 million wrestling matches between these skinny, putrid, knuckle dragging, tongue hanging out fucking meth heads that they find and scoop up on these outlaw shows and throw them in the ring to beat each other up. Nobody cares. Just advertise. We are going to bitch about Jim Cornette for 2 hours. Admission, $10. You'll have to turn them away. and I'll lease the Jim Cornette name for them to advertise for the low, low price of only $7 a head. So they can keep $3 a ticket. Brian, do you think that's fair?
You know, I think you finally have hit on something. The more I think about it, this is a great idea. The idea we could license out the ability for people to set up their own anti-Cornette meetings where they can get together and vent about Jim Cornette, maybe buy some anti-Jim Cornette merchandise that you can find at JimCornette.com.
Well, shit,
I like this.
I don't have time for the demand for the merchandise from people who like me. I don't have time to keep up with it. I'm going to start selling the stuff for the people who... How about this? Cameos. But we'll do reverse cameos where you can pay $250 and do a promo cussing me out and I have to watch it. Because I think that now we might have something there. If you said to some of these, basement dwelling subhuman gum bumping sacks of snake feces, you can cuss Jim Cornette out and he's going to hear it personally for $250, I bet they'd jump on it. We need to do reverse cameo.
I like this. Cut a cameo on Jim. Cut a promo on Jim.
Cut a cameo on Cornette and put him in a coma. Speaking of cameos, how'd you like that segue? We're right there in the wheelhouse. The Great American Cameo Bash is going to take place on Sunday, July 11th, where I'm doing the cameos and giving a stern talking to and a dressing down, if you will, to you or whoever you designate me to. I will say anything as long as it's not illegal and could possibly come back to haunt me in a court of law. And we've announced the problems before with them selling out so quick. A lot of people were rushing, not getting the information to me because they're rushing, they're panicked, they're going to get left out. We're bringing that all to an end. That's why it's the Great American Cameo Bash. We're not limiting the number this time, folks. At noon Eastern on Sunday, July 11th at cameo.com/Jim Cornette. The cameos go up on sale, and they will be on sale for 2 hours. I've already cleared the days with Hotchkiss that week. Whatever we sell, we'll be able to fulfill in 2 hours. After that, you're still fucked. But anyway, so you can take some time and give me some information on the people that need a talking to. That's Sunday, July 11th at noon Eastern for 2 hours. And also, if you've got any leftover cryptocurrency laying around in your little wallets, wherever you keep them, the NFTs from the folks at Rarities are still on sale and or bid. They went on sale on Sunday, June 27th, and they are continuing to be on sale. The bidding for those top tier levels 1 and 2, which includes the unique Cornette face and the signature series and a ring-worn outfit, still will be underway until this coming Sunday, July the 4th at 5 p.m. Eastern. But you go for the whole 9 yards to ProWrestlingNFT.com. And remember, you need the cryptocurrency and the instructions, as I've been getting feedback that many people need these. The instructions for how to turn your good old-fashioned money into this newfangled money are on the website as well. And that's what I've got to say about that.